What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So, I need an idiot's guide for The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 12, episodes 19 through 21, because I'm confused. What we know to be a fact is that some of the women, when they were still in Aspen, had gone to some bar. And at this bar, Kathy Hilton had some type of a blow up. Supposedly, I guess it started with the DJ refusing to play Michael Jackson music at her request. That angered her even more, and so she started acting erratically. She had some type of a meltdown. She was screaming at Kyle about something. Crystal said in this episode that it was so loud in there that you couldn't even hear the person next to you talking. So I guess no one can really vouch for what Kathy Hilton was screaming at Kyle, maybe other than Kyle herself, and she's obviously not going to reveal it. That's a fact. Some of the women were at a bar. Kathy had a meltdown and she was screaming something at Kyle. She was begging for Kyle to leave with her. Kyle refused to go. So Lisa Rinna took it upon herself to leave with Kathy Hilton. I think we can all agree that that right there is factual. Where it starts to get very muddy and very gray is what happened between Lisa Rinna and Kathy Hilton on the van or in the van and when they arrived at the house in Aspen. That's where it gets very, very cloudy because the only person who's talking is Lisa Rinna. And whatever Lisa Rinna has to say about what Kathy said and about how Kathy acted allegedly, the only person who can vouch for that is Kathy Hilton. Now, Kathy Hilton doesn't want Lisa to discuss what went down in the van on the way to the house and what happened at the house. Supposedly, she has issued some cease and desist order to Lisa Rinna to keep her mouth shut. Lisa Rinna claims that she won't be silenced, but it seems like she is silenced because she's just, tiptoeing around what really went down and not really saying what happened, if anything happened at all. Who knows? Which makes me wonder, is Lisa Rinna the kind of person? We all know that Lisa Rinna is shady. She's dramatic. She wants the attention to herself. She has we all know about the issues about Lisa Rinna. But is Lisa Rinna the kind of person who would just flat out lie and concoct a complete falsehood about Kathy Hilton? If they had a very peaceful drive to the Aspen house, very peaceful drive. Either, let's say, Kathy Hilton was sleeping or Kathy Hilton and Lisa were having a decent conversation about sports, about gardening, about the weather. And then all of a sudden, Lisa Rinna takes it upon herself. You know what, y'all? I'm going to make up a story that Kathy Hilton completely lost her mind on our way back to the house and when we got to the house. And she was making all kinds of threats about taking people down and destroying people and destroying networks. And then she started throwing things and I got so scared I had to go hide in the bathroom. Do we put it past Rinna to do something like that? Could she really do something like that? Like completely concoct an entire fabrication about how Kathy acted that night after they left the bar? If Kathy Hilton did act out in the van and at the house and said these really horrible things about destroying people, destroying everybody in the cast, destroying her sister, destroying Bravo, whatever, if she really did that, it would make sense that Kathy Hilton would issue a cease and desist to Rinna because all of those type of things would make her look bad. And maybe she was in a drunken state of mind. She wasn't herself when she said these things, and so there was no ill intent behind it. Fine. But either way, she doesn't want it leaked what was said. whether she was in her right mind or not, because if she was in her right mind, it seems like there's some ill intent. And if she was not in her right mind, it's like she's some drunk and she doesn't want to appear either way. So she would rather Lisa keep her mouth shut. When I go on social media, and usually I don't do that when I am in the middle of watching a reality TV show, because I don't want spoilers and I don't want to be clouded. I want to see things play out on my television screen and have my own judgments. But in this situation, it got so confusing for me as to like trying to figure out exactly why people are acting the way they're acting. So I have to go like on to like Twitter's my go-to place, and maybe that's not a good idea. There's like a huge backlash for Lisa Rinna. You know, people just think that she's just evil, that she's just a very evil person. Nobody likes Lisa Rinna on Twitter. Absolutely nobody. And everybody is siding with Kathy Hilton and Garcelle for sure. And they don't like Erica either. And I'm trying to kind of like go with the masses, but it's like my mind is still having a lot of questions. Okay, another issue that I have is Erica and Lisa Rinna, because it was brought out in the last episode. It was brought out, I think, by Garcelle, that Lisa and Erica are in cahoots to bring Kathy down or to expose Kathy so that nobody will talk about Erica and her legal issues. I love Garcelle. I do. I think she's my favorite one. She is my favorite person on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But I kind of don't agree with that, because these are adults. And we, the viewers, are adults. You can't distract us from Erica by putting something new and shiny in front of in our face called Kathy. You know, like we're babies. Just because you bring up Kathy and her meltdown in Aspen, I don't think it's going to make us forget about Erica. You know, you can have issues and conversations and criticisms of both things. Just because this whole Kathy thing kind of blew up, it doesn't mean that we forgot about Erica and, her issues. For sure we haven't. So I don't believe the whole story about, this is just a distraction from Erica because we're spending so much time talking about Kathy. We're no longer talking about Erica. It doesn't change how we feel about Erica or what we think about Erica at all. I can't be like, I'm going to talk about Kathy Hilton and then be like, what was it that Erica did again? I completely forgot, because I can't have two things living in my brain at once. That's stupid. If Erica and Rinna are trying to distract the masses by bringing up Kathy, it's not working. That's stupid. We're adults. We're not 6-month-old babies. We're adults. So Kyle kept on saying throughout the episode that if Erica and Rinna don't shut up about this whole Kathy thing, it's just going to end up hurting her. And I don't know exactly what she meant, because she talked about her children were going to be hurt. I'm assuming she meant that Kathy would distance herself once again from Kyle and her family, and so her children will no longer have a relationship with their aunt or their cousins. I'm thinking that's what she meant. But then if that's what she meant, then my next question is, how can what Lisa say ruin the relationship between Kyle and her sister? Because it wasn't Kyle that said anything. It was Kathy that supposedly had said some things about Kyle. And if Lisa were to expose what was said by Kathy about Kyle, why would Kathy be so angry with Kyle to the point where she would want to distance herself again from Kyle? I don't understand. What am I missing? I must be missing something. I have to be missing something. And I don't know what that is. I don't know what I'm missing. Because it's not making any sense to me. When Kyle says, Lisa, if you keep talking about this, you're just going to end up hurting me. You're going to end up hurting me. In what way? Because you didn't do anything. It was Kathy that was on a tirade about Kyle. Now, because Lisa is so overly dramatic, I'm pretty sure that she completely exaggerated what happened in the van and what happened at the house. And Rinna knows that she's got the upper hand because there's no other witnesses. But my whole thing is, why issue a cease and desist? What you need to do, Kathy, I would think, would be to just let Rinna say whatever the hell she wants to say. If it ends up being false, sue her for defamation and give her the burden of proving that what she said was true. That's what I would do if I was Kathy. Because to issue a cease and desist, to make someone not talk, and we know that Kathy doesn't want Rinna to not talk. It seems like Rinna has something to say that Kathy believes would hurt her, so she doesn't want Rinna to spill the beans. So that's why she's threatening, not threatening, but that's why she's basically demanding that she keep silent through text messages. And I think she's issuing cease and desist orders. When they had that scene in episode 21 where Kyle tells Erica, well, I got it from a really reliable source that someone in your camp has been leaking information to the press. What information are they saying that Erica leaked? Because Erica was only witness to what went down at the bar. And what went down at the bar, there was a whole bunch of witnesses there because this was a bar. There was a whole bunch of people there. It wasn't just Erica. Now, so the question might be, well, what motive would anyone else who's not on the show, what motive would they have to go to the press to talk about Kathy Hilton's tirade? Well, they keep talking about how Kathy Hilton is so famous and so rich and all of this. Any regular Joe Schmo would have a motive to go to the press and say, hey, I was at this bar the other night and Kathy freaking Hilton was there. And let me tell you what she said and what she did. I'm thinking anybody would want to, anybody with a monetary agenda or a monetary motive would want to talk about that to the press. You know, Kathy Hilton, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, they were in there. You know, Rinna was there, Kyle was there, Erica was there. All these people from Real House of Beverly Hills were at the bar last night, and Kathy Hilton made a scene, and let me tell you about it. And if the issue is that it had to be someone from the cast that leaked what happened at the bar, because it happened so quickly, because, you know, a regular person wouldn't have had the time, I guess, or the opportunity to get to the press as quickly. And I guess, I don't know. So let's say that it was Erica that leaked the information, you know, to hurt Kathy or to expose Kathy. Then my question is, Kathy had her meltdown in a public place. It was in a public place. Even if Erica didn't say anything about it, or nobody in her camp said anything about it, anybody else at the bar could have said it. I don't know. Obviously, Erica would have the bigger motive because she wants the heat off of her because, you know, Erica thinks that we're all 6-month-old babies who could easily get distracted. So she wants the heat off of her. So she's going to go to the press and she's going to talk about what happened in Aspen at this bar because that's probably, you know, bigger news than her legal troubles. So Kyle said it was your publicist that leaked the information to the press. And Kyle made it seem like I have very strong, reliable sources that this is how it went down. And then Erica says, First, she wants the information that Kyle has to show that because, Erica has been embroiled in these legal battles for so long now that she's like a baby lawyer, and she's all about evidence and proof and all of that. So Erica says, well, that's really funny that it would be my publicist because me and Nikki Hilton share the same publicist. So it wouldn't be in the best interest of the publicist to leak negative information about his client's mother. That's something else I'm confused about. Kyle seems so sure that it came from Erica's camp and that it was Erica's publicist. But Erica said, unless Erica lied, Erica said that my publicist is the same publicist as Nikki Hilton. Then there was a scene that I don't know. I saw this on Twitter, but I don't know what episode it was. It was a couple episodes back or whatever. I'm not really sure. I think it was a scene where Dorit was telling Erica about, or Erica was telling Dorit, I don't know, they were talking about Kathy. And I think they were talking about either what happened at the bar or the text messages that, this was at the, was this at the wig party? I don't know when it was. I think it was at the wig party. So I think Erica was telling Dorit, or they were talking about Kathy and the text messages. And supposedly Erica's publicist was nearby and he was listening to everything that they were talking about Kathy. And so the publicist was talking to, I guess, a friend of his that was nearby. And they were like, the publicist was like, oh, do you hear what's going on over there? Do you hear what's going on? Like really listening in to Erica and Dorit's conversation and like, oh my God, it's just so juicy. Do you hear what's going on over there? And so it made him look really shady, like he's trying to listen to all this gossip and like he's going to use it in some way. I don't know, but it made him look really, really shady. And it's kind of like, why are you so excited about that? Because about this information, I don't know. That's what I saw that clip on Twitter. So that kind of gives credence to maybe that publicist did leak this information because this publicist was like super duper invested in that conversation as if it was like so titillating and so juicy and so interesting, like he was going to do something with that information. I'm just so utterly confused about this whole Kathy Hilton thing and why it would make Kathy, why it would ruin. The only thing that I can think of, this is what makes sense to me. The only thing that makes sense to me is Kathy Hilton had a situation at the bar. She had a meltdown. She starts screaming at Kyle. And the things that she's screaming at Kyle have a lot to do with Kyle. And Kyle doesn't want that information now. Like maybe Kathy was revealing some information or some secrets about Kyle and Kyle's side of the family, like her husband, her children, her marriage or something. Because we know, well, to me, it seems like Kyle is very tight-lipped when it comes to her family. She's extremely protective of her family, and she doesn't want any negative information to ever come out about her family. Because Kyle is on a show where every single woman around her, their secrets are exposed left, right, and center. Legal problems, marital problems, friendship problems, all these issues are revealed. The only thing about Kyle that's revealed that you would say would put her in a negative light is the very problematic relationships that she has with her sisters. And that's about it. We know nothing about the problems that her and Mauricio could have gone through. We know nothing about the problems that any of her children could have gone through. The only thing that we know about Kyle that's slightly negative is that she doesn't have the best relationships with her sister. And I think it's very telling that when her only sisters, when both of her sisters end up on this show, they get dragged through the mud by Lisa Rinna. I think that's very telling. Like, what is going on there? Why is it, Kyle, that when you bring your sisters to the show, they're having some type of big time conflict with Lisa Rinna? So the only person that would be hurt by this information that Kathy allegedly had, spewed, it would be Kyle. And I can see possibly Kyle being mad at Kathy for talking about things that Kyle did not want to be put out there. Now Kyle has to muzzle Rinna. And Kathy is very apologetic about revealing certain information about Kyle to Rinna. And that's why she's scrambling around with this cease and desist, because she feels bad about what she said, because she probably understands how Kyle is. Kyle does not want any negative information about her family leaked. Kathy feels guilty, and so she's scrambling to shut up Rinna. Rinna is using this all as a game because it puts her in the center of attention. So this is benefiting her because, she's getting what she wants, which is a lot of attention. So that's the only thing that's what makes sense to me. I think that Rinna is, she's a little grimy for taking this information and like holding it above people's heads. Like, oh, I know something about you. Yeah, she's a bit grimy about that. Erica is going to hop on board and be like, oh, okay, let's talk about Kathy and let's not talk about me for a minute. Okay, I can see Erica hopping on board with that, but I don't think that the true culprits are Rinna or Erica. To me, the true culprit, and I hate to say this just because I think she's adorable, it's Kathy. Kathy, she had a little bit too much to drink. Whatever issues that she had with Kyle came spilling out of her mouth. She really regrets it. And now she's trying to do damage control. And Kyle doesn't want it to be so much focused on her because that's just how she is. So she's going to do this whole thing about, you're hurting my relationship with my sister. You're hurting my sister. Kyle, it's about you, I think. And maybe I'm wrong. And I'm pretty sure if I'm wrong, if I'm completely left field, even though hardly anybody watches these reviews that I do on Beverly Hills, somebody's going to come and tell me you're wrong. What you're saying doesn't make any sense. But that's what makes sense in my mind. And I see things differently from the way the majority of other people see it. Other people are hopping on Rinna. She's awful. She's this, she's that. I'm not saying she's not, but in this particular situation, I just don't, if the words were coming out of Kathy's mouth, why is it that everybody's pointing the finger at Rinna? And everybody's saying, oh, Kathy has the right, to have a drunken moment. Of course she does. No big deal. You get drunk and you talk too damn much. Okay, fine. That's not an issue. But I think that maybe the information is so damaging, and the one that considers it so damaging is Kyle. Because if it wasn't that damaging, who cares if it was revealed? Let Rinna spill it, and then let's all get over it and move on. I mean, the fact that everyone is trying so hard to silence Rinna is kind of like there's some serious information that she's holding in. I just don't understand why this is such a big deal. Everybody's entitled to have like a drunken tirade or whatever, a drunken moment. And that's so people are like, very protective of Kathy. Like, oh, she had a drunken moment. That's okay. And these women can push you over the edge, and, dealing with these women will make anybody go crazy. Now, which is true, dealing with these women can make anybody go crazy, but no one has set Kathy up at the bar. It wasn't like it was some type of a setup or her buttons were being pushed by somebody. It was just her in her drunken moment or whatever, just, having diarrhea of the mouth. That was when she was confronting Kyle at the bar. Now, what happened in the Splinter van between her and Rinna on the way back to the house, and what happened at the house where Lisa was talking about hiding in the bedroom and Kathy was scary, that right there, I don't know. That's right there. If Rinna is making this up, if she's completely making this up and this is ruining this woman's reputation, Kathy should just sue her. Let's just be done with it and just sue the woman. Sue her for defamation of character. Sue her. She's on a national television show, an international television show, and she says that she did something and said things that she didn't say. Sue her and make her prove it. Or she has to pay you. I don't understand. Why are we doing cease and desist? Cease and desist means that something was said, Something definitely happened and you don't want her to talk about it. That's what cease and desist tells me. I don't know. I need help. Maybe the reunion hopefully will shed more light on what's going on. But Kyle getting upset with Erica for leaking information, or for somebody, or somebody from her camp leaking information about Kathy, meaning about what Kathy had said at the bar, because that's the only thing that Erica was privy to, was what was happening at the bar, which they were all privy to. So Kyle being upset with Erica for leaking information, or from somebody from her camp leaking information about how Kathy acted at the bar, makes me think that Kathy had said things at the bar that was pretty damn embarrassing for Kyle. Because Kathy wasn't talking about herself. And if it's all about, okay, if Kathy didn't say anything harmful about anyone, but she was just acting crazy and just completely out of character at the bar, and Kyle is protective of her sister, and she's like, I don't want people to know how my sister was acting that night because it was so erratic and it was so whatever bizarre, and I don't think the public should know about that, so we can't talk about what happened at the bar. And it's only Erica and Rinna that's pushing it about what happened at the damn bar. Then wouldn't it be in Kathy's best interest to try to silence? Okay, so maybe it's because it's her sister. She wants to protect her sister's reputation. It's like, well, we're not going to talk about what happened at the bar. And then Erica's like, but y'all want to talk about me all the time. Y'all want to talk about what's I'm going through. I have to answer your questions. So why can't she also be put in the hot seat and be forced to answer some questions? She being Kathy. And maybe that was why everybody has kind of rallied around Kathy, and they're like, oh, Kathy, she can have a moment. She can have a drunken moment, and it doesn't have to be, national news. She can have a little drunken moment, have a little drunken tirade like the best of us have had, and it doesn't have to be on the front page of every single blog. So let's not talk about, Kathy acting erratic at the damn bar. But what I don't understand is the other women talked about that, about what happened at the bar as well, because I don't know who it was, but it wasn't just Rinna and Erica that talked about how Kathy acted at the bar. It wasn't just them two. The other women talked about it on the show, about how she acted. And I understand that maybe Erica has some ill intent behind it, because, she wants to take the heat off of herself. But I think it would have been just perfectly fine if the other women would have been like, yeah, Kathy had a moment, but it was no big deal. Like, who cares? We all have gotten drunk. And I think maybe that's what they've said. And I don't think anybody cares about Kathy having a moment at the bar. That she was demanding Michael Jackson to be played, but the DJ said no. And so then she wanted her sister to leave. It's not a big deal to me. I think the bigger deal was what Rinna was alleging to. And if Rinna is lying, Kathy should sue Rinna for defamation. Let her talk and sue her. But don't try to silence her, because that's as if something happened and you don't want it to be known. Okay, I feel like I'm just repeating myself and I'm going around in circles. I'm just going to end it here. Yeah, I'm very confused. I must be missing something. I need the idiot's guide for these episodes. I need this stuff like just broken down in little tiny pieces for me to easily digest, because I'm just confused as far as like, why are we trying to silence Rinna unless something really did happen? If anything, if nothing happened, then sue her for lying. Erica leaking information to the press. The only thing that Erica can leak to the press is what happened at the bar, but there was a whole bunch of people at the damn bar. And the other housewives also talked about what happened at the bar. Didn't they? Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video, and if you like this content, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.